The fate of Ukraine could be decided at the White House today. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Monday, August 18th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. President Donald Trump will hold potentially pivotal talks on Ukraine this afternoon. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and leaders from Britain, France, and Germany will join Trump in the Oval Office. They will discuss a possible peace deal between Ukraine and Russia. Today's meeting follows Trump's summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday. That meeting in Alaska began with a red carpet and a warm greeting between the two leaders. But it ended just a few hours later with an awkward joint appearance and no peace deal to announce. Then, following the meeting, Trump dropped his demand for a ceasefire and instead called for a final peace deal. Such a deal could include Ukraine giving up some of its territory. Zelensky has previously said that Ukraine will not cede territory to end the war. And yesterday, he reiterated his stance that peace talks cannot take place under fire.
We have to stop the killings. Putin has many demands, but we do not know all of them. And if there are really as many as we heard, then it will take time to go through them all. It's impossible to do this under the pressure of weapons. So it's necessary to cease fire and work quickly on a final deal.
Yesterday, Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff said that the U.S. was potentially prepared to give Ukraine some kind of security guarantee. That will be under discussion at the White House today. Federal officers in D.C. violently detained a food delivery driver. That's number 2. Last week, President Trump announced he was placing D.C. police under federal control and sending National Guard troops to the city. On Saturday, a violent arrest was caught on camera. Agents detained a food delivery driver as he emerged from a coffee shop. Video showed the officers tackling the man to the ground, appearing to use a stun gun and driving him away in an unmarked vehicle. Post reporter Dan Rosenzweig-Ziff witnessed the incident. He asked the agents to identify themselves, but they refused.
Can you tell us what agency you're with? I'm press. What agency are you with?
I don't care, my guy. You don't care what agency? I don't talk to the press.
Okay, we just want to know what agency you're with.
After video of the arrest spread online, the Department of Homeland Security identified the detained man as a Venezuelan national under a deportation order. The arrest sparked fear and outrage among some D.C. residents. The White House has said its police takeover is meant to curb violent crime in the district. But so far, federal action seems to have focused on immigration enforcement. Number 3. Mass protests erupted in Israel yesterday. The families of Israeli hostages who are still held in Gaza organized these demonstrations and a strike. They were in response to the Israeli government's decision to seize control of Gaza's largest city. Hostage families say that decision could endanger their loved ones. Senior military leaders also opposed the plan. Hundreds of thousands of Israelis took part in the protests, flooding city streets and blocking roads. They chanted, "The image of victory is the last hostage coming home." Meanwhile, in the U.S., the State Department halted visitor visas for people from Gaza. The temporary pause removes a route for Palestinians seeking critical medical care in the U.S., including children. The move comes after far-right activist and MAGA influencer Laura Loomer criticized that visa program in recent days. Number 4. COVID cases are rising, but new vaccines may not be ready for weeks. As children begin to go back to school, coronavirus infections are climbing once again. According to researchers, viral levels in wastewater started rising in late June. In recent years, the FDA has typically signed off on an updated version of the coronavirus vaccine by late August or early September. That's so that pharmacies and doctors' offices can place orders in time for fall. But this year, the FDA has not yet approved an updated shot, and the federal committee that would recommend the updated vaccine is not expected to meet until at least mid-September. When it does, the agency is also expected to narrow its approval for the vaccine to people who are 65 and older or at a high risk for severe disease. Number 5. Surging summer humidity is making nights hotter. Summer heat is most obvious by day, but a less noticeable trend is happening while most people sleep. Nighttime temperatures are accelerating, and they're being fueled by extreme humidity. Nearly half of the planet has experienced record or near-record high minimum temperatures since the start of June. That includes unprecedented overnight warmth across much of the eastern US and parts of Europe and Asia. At the same time, nearly 2/3 of those areas have also endured record or near-record levels of humidity. In fact, the US is suffering through one of its most humid summers on record. 18 states and D.C. experienced record humidity in July. So if you've been feeling extra swampy this year, now you know why. People are making money flooding the web with surreal AI videos. That's number 6. If you haven't seen these videos, I envy you. They're known as AI slop. Videos made with artificial intelligence depicting everything from fake roller coaster disasters to a weirdly lifelike kangaroo trying to board a plane at the airport. Here's what that video sounded like. Surprisingly, that video fooled a lot of people. Anyway, some platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram pay creators for popular content. So the promise of a payday has fueled an avalanche of slop. One man who spoke to the Post said he earns $5,000 a month churning out AI videos. The lucrative trend is causing something of an existential panic among creators of human art. And it's making me want to sever my internet connection and move to the woods. And at number 7. A historic logbook from Pearl Harbor was rescued from the trash. In the 1970s, Aretta Kennedy worked at the old Norton Air Force Base in San Bernardino, California. One day, she noticed a book in a trash can. She asked if she could keep it, and she took it home to show her son. Last year, her son, Michael William Bonds, was moving house, and there in a box, he rediscovered the book his mother had brought him. It turns out it was a logbook from Pearl Harbor. It showed daily entries about the conditions at the U.S. Navy base in Hawaii, including from December 7, 1941, when the base was attacked by Japan, pushing the U.S. into World War II. Last week, the National Archives announced it had recovered the book from Bonds. One archivist told the Post the logbook is one of a kind. If you'd like to see it, there's a link to a digitized copy of the historic artifact in our newsletter today. All right, you're all caught up. If you are chomping at the bit to see that historic logbook, but you don't know how to find our newsletter, allow me to help. Depending where you're listening to the 7, the show notes are basically the info page for each episode. On Apple, there's a link that says Read Today's Briefing. That will take you to the newsletter. Or you can just Google the 7 Morning Briefing. Sign up and you can get our newsletter with all its links and treasures delivered to your inbox early every weekday morning. It's totally free, so sign up now. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.